large classic briefcase in dark coffee brown. You don't have to apologize, you don't have to bear with me a little bit. I've never actually done any videos or posted anything on YouTube or anything before, but this is the first thing I'm actually passionate enough about to really give this a shot. So when I was shopping for this briefcase, what I had a hard time doing was trying to get a sense of scale. Really trying to decide, you know, how big is this thing? So many forums and things that I read, you know, is it too big, or it's too big, or it's too heavy, or, you know, weighs in at 7.5 pounds, and I'll say, you know, it's really not. It's really not too heavy at all. I mean, compared to everyday items that you're probably lifting anyway, this thing really isn't very heavy at all. So what I want to do is kind of, I know you've probably seen plenty of videos where we look inside and explain the features and all that, so I'm probably not going to do that here, but I'm going to set some common things up there just so you can get an idea, a sense of scale. I'm 6 foot tall, 240 pounds, so to give you an idea of me next to the bag, it's certainly not too big at all. So a lot of the videos have Macs. You know, I've got an iPhone and an iPad, but I'm not a Mac guy. I mean, our home computers are all PCs. My work computer, my work laptop is a PC, so I kind of wanted to set our home laptop up next to this just to give it an idea of scale. This thing's about 14 3/4 inches across the bottom. It's about 10 inches tall on the top. It has about a 16-inch diagonal screen. It fits in there just fine. There's plenty of room for it. In fact, I'm probably going to put a sleeve in there just to kind of keep it from bouncing around in there at all. I brought a couple of other items to put up next to it. I do have an iPhone. It's in the small gadget sleeve. I guess what I did was I bought these two items to try and decide, you know, which one of these, what color do I want to go with here. And I guess I should say that I'm not associated with Saddleback leather in any way, shape, or form. Believe me, I would have much rather have gotten one of these for free than pay $555 for it, but at this point it's absolutely money well spent. Would absolutely do it again. I really think this is an absolutely fantastic bag, and I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very, very happy with these too. So there you go, sense of scale. Kind of get the iPhone up there. The iPhone absolutely looks small in front of it, but I do have the tape measure set there, and I don't know if you can see the red. I don't know if it'll show up or not, but that's 16 inches. It's 16 inches across for the large classic briefcase. Brought a couple of other things. I do have my iPad to give you an idea next to an iPad of how big that this is. My planner, my laptop, my iPad, everything, pens, anything that I want to take with me. The Canon 60D that I'm actually using to take this video with the kit lens actually fits just fine. A bottle of beer. Everybody kind of has an idea of how big that a bottle of beer is, so set that up there for some perspective. And you know, I probably watched, I would say, every YouTube video on this twice, and I've read all kinds of forums. The style forum, surprisingly, that's certainly not me. The shoes and the colors and everything else, I'm definitely not that guy. But I did go through the bag when I got it and tried to look for any kind of stitching defects or defects in the leather or anything that I thought that anybody, you know, might not be satisfied with, and I certainly can't find anything. I'm absolutely thrilled with it, and I do like the new logo. I especially like the blue logo. I actually found this company because I was missing my black lab, and I found the story about Blue, and I really thought that was a really great story. Anybody that's had a dog like that, or a dog like the one I had, certainly can identify with how great it is to have a companion like that. Much, much more than a pet. I guess for rednecks, most people may or may not be able to identify with that, but you know, I wouldn't consider myself a redneck, but I do chew, but there's a can of chew. This laying around the garage, this is an Abu Garcia 5000C, certainly a classic reel to give you an idea of scale there. I do have a ruler set up there for some dimensions again. That one's, it's an architect's, or I guess a draftsman's ruler, so it's about 12.5 inches long. I did see amazing amount of these in gun forums and knife forums. So to give you an idea, that's a Colt 1911. I don't carry a gun every day, probably, nor will I, nor carry it in here, but who knows. But anyway, to give you an idea of scale, it's a 1911 frame, pretty common firearm. For the knife forums, I got a Benchmade knife. Give you an idea how big that thing is there. Another common item that probably most people will be familiar with is a magazine. In comparison to the size of this magazine, this bag isn't, I wouldn't say it's big or huge by any means. It'll certainly carry all your stuff. Looking like Indiana Jones, but one thing that I was also concerned with about this is I didn't necessarily like the way that the triangle shape of the bag. I will say that that's growing on me over time. It certainly doesn't bother me. I read several things about people taking carabiner clips and clipping these together to keep it a little bit smaller, and I tried that. You know, I guess that's a more pleasing shape to me, but it's not something that I do. What they say is very, very true as far as the leather being very stiff and it's going to last 100 years, and you know, incredible warranty. And from everything I read, this company seems like an absolutely great company. Certainly going to take a fair amount of time to break in, that's for sure. But you know, to be honest with you, I wish I could fast forward to a 100% broken in bag, because I'm just, again, I'm super excited about it. This is certainly a lot of money for me to spend on a bag, but I think money absolutely well spent. I'm anxious to take this on all the trips and all the business trips and all the adventures and all. I'm going to find excuses to carry this thing just because I want to, just because I like it. I like the design, very classic design, looks great, seems like a great company. Certainly the dog had a lot to do with it for me. I'm really glad that they put that on their website. But again, I'm sorry if I didn't cover anything. I've never attempted to do one of these videos before. I'm sure my email address will be associated with this video once it gets up, if anybody actually sees it. If you got questions, I'd be happy to answer it. If you want me to set something else in front of the bag and take a picture, I'd certainly be more than happy to do that too. Anyway, great bag.